Hey guys, my name's Michelle. I'm a volunteer here at the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. Today I'm hanging out with Navi and Tala, and Cameron has been doing the wolf vlogs the last couple weeks. I told him he can do them all summer, but like usually in summertime we are very busy, so we're kind of back to doing it solo for right now. So today I just wanted to talk about kind of an interesting, kind of a sad email that I got from an anti-wolf group, and I do sign up for the anti-wolf group emails because that's the best way to keep track of what's going on. So this particular group, they sent out an email asking for people to email Montana Parks and Wildlife to increase the hunting quota of wolves around Yellowstone National Park. Now, right now, Montana, in whatever hunting district it was, I don't know exactly which one it is, but the one right outside of Gardner, it allows for 2 wolves to be killed outside of the park every year. Now that doesn't sound like a whole lot, however, it is when you consider that since these guys live in families, any loss to hunting and trapping can take a very large toll on their pack and their family structure. So, Navi, treats, come here. So what ends up happening, and especially with your areas around Yellowstone National Park or Denali National Park, when they allow hunting of wolves right outside of park boundaries, you get diminished results of being able to see wolves when you visit those parks. In fact, Denali National Park at one time was the #1 place to see wild wolves in America. People would have very high success rates in seeing them, and then they took away what's called a buffer zone. Now a buffer zone is basically an area outside of the parks that prevent hunting so that the animals that are within the national parks don't actually get hunted or trapped. So unfortunately in 2012, when we got to Yellowstone National Park, we allowed hunting outside of Yellowstone National Park. We lost, of course, the most famous wolf in the world, which was the alpha female from Lamar Valley Pack. And what ended up happening is we lost not only her, but about 12 other wolves that used the park full time, and about 5 others that used the park half the time. Come on, Navi. Oh, you can do it. So I'm sitting on a log, but what ends up happening is when we allow for hunting outside of the parks, we don't get a chance to see the wolves that are in the park as much. Now they did a study outside of Denali, and we see now that about only 6% of visitors to Denali National Park actually get a chance to see wolves, whereas they used to be able to see a lot more. People would have higher success rates in seeing them. Now another thing is, this article of course quotes a decline in the elk population, and I actually got a chance to read a study. You'll see a lot of this too, and they'll say, oh, well, there's only 6,000 elk left in Yellowstone National Park. Well, that's the winter count. If you count the elk during the summer, the elk population really hasn't changed all that much, and it's about 20,000 elk. Now, overall, in Yellowstone, or the surrounding areas of Yellowstone, so Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, we've actually seen overall an increase in the elk population overall. So according to Big Game Forever and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the elk population in Montana has risen 66% since wolves were released back onto landscape. Now, of course, that's not saying that they don't have some local declines or some local areas, but the elk population is not declining as a whole. Now, unfortunately, this email was like, oh, well, you see, the wolves are causing such a great calf loss that we're not having as much elk going back in the population. Well, a study was done a couple years ago to see what was causing what was the #1 cause for mortality of calves in and around Yellowstone National Park. And it turns out that mountain lions actually are the #1 predator for elk calves. So wolves are not the big bad wolf they're made out to be, of course. I mean, you can see Navi here. He's not a very big bad wolf, even though he kind of looks like he would be. But unfortunately, wolves, again, are getting a scapegoat. So in response to this email from this anti-wolf group, I would ask all of you guys to email Montana Parks and Wildlife or Montana Fish and Game in the opposite, and please ask them to reduce the quota outside of Yellowstone National Park to 0 wolves and allow for a buffer zone so we can keep our Yellowstone National Park safe. We don't want any of our park wolves to be shot and killed. We don't want any wolves to be shot and killed, but especially not the ones that are there for all of the public and for the viewing and happiness of all of us. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us today for our weekly wolf blog. We should hopefully have some exciting news here in the next couple days, next couple weeks. So we will see you guys next week, hopefully, with something a little bit more exciting for you guys to see. So again, this is Navi, and my name is Michelle, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks.
time. He's going to do it.